What's up, guys? Can you hear me? And can you see the screen? All right, let's do another mic check. Okay, there we go. It's just a little bit delayed. Okay, so as always, I'm going to start off just kind of reviewing the future. Then we'll jump into the watch list review and do a question and answer session towards the end of this live video. So we're at a really interesting point here. You can't hear. One sec, just getting these technical difficulties. Okay, cool, he's good. All right, so yeah, we're at an interesting point here in the market. We're pushing up to highs. We've been here before, so I'm just kind of looking at this from a technical standpoint. We've got almost like an ascending triangle forming, right? I wouldn't be surprised to see us get rejected at this level. You can see when futures opened up, we've literally just moved sideways this entire time. So I'm interested to see where we open up in the morning. When I go over this watch list review, I'm going to give out some levels of where I would take these stocks long and where I would short them at. But just understand that these levels are almost always changed in the morning. So kind of use it as a reference for now to get somewhere close in that price range. And the exact levels I'll post in the morning on the watch list prior to market open. So the first one on the watch list for tomorrow is Roku. I think this has got a really tight setup here, a really nice setup. We had this bounce right off of the 200 EMA, which happened to be right at the $100 support. And then we pushed up, reclaimed this 50 EMA, and as soon as we reclaimed it, we hit 140 and then kind of dropped back down, right? So this right here that's a healthy pullback. And I guess if you kind of want to get technical, you could say that this is almost like a bull flag. So I'll be watching for a push up here, at least maybe another test of 140 if we can break above this top side here. So if I jump into the 5-minute chart, yeah, I think I would go long right at 134, which would be the high here. We had a nice bullish close to the top side. I'd probably short it right around 132, and I'm drawing these lines off of support and resistance, so I can see some support in this general area, some resistance here. We had some resistance here, and when we broke through, we even pulled back and tested it as support. So I would definitely look at 132 as being a key level. Microsoft. This is another really interesting one. So I usually do my analysis. I start with the larger time frames and work my way down to the smaller time frames. Usually beginning with the daily and then going in all the way down to the 5-minute chart. But look at the weekly on this, on Microsoft. For the past, what is this, like 4 or 5 months, we've been in this huge consolidation zone. And recently, if I go back into the 5-minute chart, you can see we closed right there. Congrats to those that held this over the weekend long. But we closed right at that resistance level around 140, 141, and finally popped up at 144. So I went ahead and drew a line up here. This indicates where we closed after hours. I would expect a continuation on this. So the reason why that move happened was because there was some news backing it. Also on the fundamental standpoint, there was a $10 billion defense contract that they won out. So I think that this continues to move up. The long trigger would be whatever we're at whenever we open. the long trigger will be right above the pre-market highs, or probably 145 as it stands right now. I set the short at 141, but I really don't know if it comes back down. The short will likely be based off of, so if it pulls back and then like moves like this, probably the short would be probably moved to like the low of the pre-market movement. The third one on the watch list for tomorrow is Tesla. And this thing just made an awesome move on Friday, and a bunch of you guys were in it too. So nice job catching this play. This right here, that is a short squeeze if I've ever seen one. Right off of the 300 support level, pushed us to about 330. I just included this because I drew these like support and resistance lines in the past, and I'm surprised that it like bounced up over 325 and held. 330 is going to be a big level. But on this ticker, I would be careful trading this. So you don't want to chase it at this point. I like that it closed up high. You don't want to chase it at this point, but it might be wise to wait for a pullback and buy it on the dips. Let me go back into the daily. Yeah, I think we still have room maybe to 350 if it decides to continue up. So as of now, the long is looking at a level at 330. Take it long over 330. And I probably shorted around 326, which is this level here, or 324, somewhere in that zone. I just seen some resistance here at 324, and then it broke out above 324, and then had another little bit of resistance here at 326 and some support here at 326. So depending on where we open, those will be some key levels to watch. Netflix is the fourth one on the watch list. We drew this zone out sometime last week, and I was saying watch for a break above this zone. So we can see, let me go back into the daily chart here. We can see we've been downtrending, right? And we tried to push up and break above this 50 EMA, which we failed to do on earnings and came back down. But when we had this bullish close on Friday, I'm thinking that if we can hold this 276 level, we have room to about 280, 282. Let me draw a line there. Yeah, so that's just going off of this kind of support zone here and this support zone here. I think if we push up above this high, so it'll be along above 278. Look to take profits around 282 area. And I'd probably short it about 275 right here, somewhere in this zone. Ulta. This was the next one on the watch list. Actually, the last one on the watch list. There are some good setups, but we have a bunch of earnings coming up. I believe Apple, AMD, Shopify, Spotify, Google, Alibaba, Starbucks, Pinterest, all of those are announcing this week. So it's kind of taken some plays away from us, unless you like to play earnings. But looking at Ulta, so we had this push up and came right back down. I think that, let me draw this triangle pattern for you here. So this is technically a descending triangle. And so you'd kind of be looking for the break below that. But since this thing has been shorted so much already, I think this is more like building pressure up. And we could see a pop up above and test maybe this 250 level again. Yeah, so a long would be right above these highs here. So it'd be 240, 250, and a short below 240. That's it for the large cap watch list. There are two on the mid cap watch list that I want to go over. QCOM. This has got a nice pattern setting up here. I posted the levels in the mid cap watch list, so check that out. But I like that it closed at this resistance level here, especially with earnings coming up. We could potentially see a run up into earnings, or a rejection at this level. So maybe set an alert right here at like 80-20 and just see how it reacts. And SQ was the other one. So we've been consolidating in this zone here for a little while. And what we've recently done is we pushed up and got rejected by this 50 EMA here. And we finally pushed up and closed above it again. So look for more of an upside move on this play as well. All right, I'm going to jump into some questions. If you guys have any tickers that you want me to look at, post them up in the chat. Oh, we got 22 viewers. I think that's the most we've had at one time. Caterpillar. I think they have earnings too, don't they? Or no? Oh, they just had it. Yeah, so you can see that I've I've already drawn some trend lines here on Cat. We were in like this falling channel, this really wide falling channel, and actually drew this line on this push up here, and it held true this time. So hopefully maybe somebody caught the dip here. I do see a lot of resistance at this area. And what I'm looking at now is the RSI is telling me that it's oversold, but that was a strong move up. Yeah, that's a nice move. I would just watch it above like maybe 140.50. You can consider taking it long there. Maybe the short level would be around like 137.5. If you want a little earlier of an entry, maybe 138. Just be careful with that RSI being oversold, and it's at a resistance point here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas where it's touched this and came back down. Oh wow, PayPal. Yeah, PayPal's a good one too. PayPal's. I like that it. I like that it pushed up on earnings here and held the 50 EMA. Again, same idea. We're at some resistance. Next level to look for would be 110. I would go long over whatever this high is, maybe 107.50 or 108. ABBV. Now this one looks good too. And well, it's got earnings at the end of the week. But yeah, it did. It came up, tested 200 EMA from the bottom side, pushed up, and now it's testing it as support. Just be weary of like maybe some consolidation. It could be just like moving sideways, waiting on earnings. Spot is really, this one made the watch list a few times. So we were in this channel right here consolidating for a little bit, and it just never could break above like this 120 area, and it finally did. When is earnings? Tomorrow. If you want to play it, just go with the trend. So you'd be looking for anything over 122 and probably short below 120, honestly. Oh yeah, this is before market. Yeah, I would just wait and see what the report says, because I guarantee you this is probably gonna, yeah, it's probably gonna go up. Could push up to like 125 area if earnings is good. Shop also has earnings this week. It's been having some difficulties pushing up above this 50 EMA, and it's got like a really this whole week it was like kind of just consolidating. It's been range trading in that zone for quite a while. Actually, that was almost a perfect perfect area. I would take it long right above maybe like 321. And look to short it below 315. All right, PFE. Yeah, see, looking at the weekly chart, we've had some resistance here. Again, it's at that same level. This kind of looks like a double bottom to me, though. Right, and then we came up and tried to get into this gap area and got rejected. Came down, pushed up. Watch it above this 50 EMA. It has earnings as well. So this very well could just move sideways into earnings. A lot of investors will be hesitant pushing stocks into earnings. Sometimes they'll run the day before, though, or be shorted the day before. BYND, I saw that on there. Yeah, again, what's up with all these earnings plays? I'll just wait. I'll just wait and see what the trend is. If you want to short it, go below 97, 97.5. Take it long over 102.5. Yeah, but it's probably better to just wait and play it the day after earnings. On in our group, we have a guide, and I believe it was made by John McGuire. It's a gap strategy guide, and it's great for plays after earnings. So like if something gaps up or gaps down, he has a strategy in there with like an 80% win rate from this strategy on how to play stocks after they've gapped up or gapped down. I highly suggest you guys that are calling out these earnings tickers to read that guide and apply that strategy the day after earnings. Because going into earnings, they could beat earnings and have bad guidance, and I mean it's really a gamble. So, all right, Visa will be the last one. Am I reading that right? VISA. Okay, doesn't exist. IWM. Sideways mover. I like this setup. I like this setup a lot. It came down, tested support, pushed up, reclaimed the 200 EMA, had sideways movement, and it's trading in this channel right here, which is an indication that it's building support, and it has top side room. That's about 158 here. Another thing that I like, anytime that you see this pattern, so when a stock pushes up and then comes down, but doesn't come all the way down and just kind of holds the gains, this pattern right here is like, it's like a really high probability that it has a continuation the next day. And I also like that when it came down, it's held this. You can see where it has been range trading. So that was like a previous area of resistance, right? And this on Friday, it actually hit that level and came down before pushing up through it. And now we're testing it as support. Watch that 155 level going in tomorrow, into tomorrow. Maybe if you want to play it a little safer, short it at like 154.70 or 154.80. But if it does hold 155, you can take it long. Maybe wait a little bit for confirmation. But this right here kind of looks like it's already breaking out of that range. All right, guys, going back to watching the game. If this video has helped you out, click that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you all in chat tomorrow. Thanks.